Page 8, A Walk in the Sun. 4/4 time, no sharps or flats. We're in the key of C major. Got some accidentals over there. We'll do them. Let's just check the rhythms and the fingering and the notes and all that. Right hand first. You're starting out with whole notes, a D, an E, and a G. So you're in this position, C position. And second measure, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. You do that some more. Now measure 5. 2 voices again. You have a whole note and you have an eighth note next to each other. When they touch like that, you only play it one time. But you're playing both voices, so you gotta hold the D down because it's a whole note tied to a half note. So as you hold it down, you're gonna play the E here. So it's 1 and 2, 4, tied 2, and then go on. Now, at measure 7, the C, you hold it down. And again, the C on the 4th beat, the quarter stem going down, it's a quarter note. You hold it down and it's tied to the whole note. So it's here. Because then the D is tied. Everything's tied up. Good grief. Okay, and then going on, it's the same thing. Here, and then go on. So you have a lot of overlapping in the voices here, and it's important that you get these with the hands. Measure 13, just reach up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Never mind what it sounds like, just deal with it. And then measure 15 is 1 and 2 and 3. Now measure 16, they're saying 1 and 2 and 3. I'm suggesting you do this. On measure 16, you start with 1/4 and then change it to 2/5. 1 and 2 and 3. That way you're in position. The thumb is moving around, but the hand is basically in one position. Then in measure 19, again we got 2 voices. The B it's got a stem going down. It's a dotted quarter note. You see the dot after it? And it's tied to the half note. You're going to hold it down. So you're going to hold it down here, like so. Now whether you use 2nd or 3rd finger on that, I don't care. Pick one. And then next measure, and then 2nd finger. See here, these bottom notes, they're not tied to nothing. They're just a dotted 8th note, just like the top voice. 1 and 2 and 3. Oh, isn't this nice? Now on page 9, all across the first line there, you stay with 1/5. It's fine. And then on the next line, it's still 1/5. You're just coming down. And then on measure 27, go up. And again, on measure 28, 1/3, 1 and 2. And then on measure 29, let's lift up and come up. This is like you had over a measure 5, you're an octave higher. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and. So measure 31, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. That's tied. You've done this before. Let's go down to 37. Measure 37 at the bottom. You have these 8th notes, 4. Just get these first. Rhythm-wise, I'll wait until I put the hands together. Just know it's 2, 4. It's an A minor chord. And then you get bass clef. And then, now, last 2 measures, the top note is tied. You hold it down as you do this other stuff. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 16th notes are on the end of 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, like so. Left hand. Here, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 2. There, 2nd measure. That 8th note, C, we got 2 voices again. It's tied. You just hold on to it. You just add the 8th note or the A to it. And that's the same way in measure 4. 1 and 2. And then measure Measure 5, the top note, you hold this down forever as you're doing this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4. And then go up. And again, hold the whole note down. 1 and 2. Measure 11, you're here. I suggest a 1, 2 there. Okay. So you had this, a line above it, go straight up, you see a 3, 1 there. Here I suggest a 2, 1. Because this way you're in position for the next measure. 1 and 2 and 3. And that way you're in position, just play it with 2 on measure 12, just 5, 2. And then you're gonna, measure 13, you gotta come up anyway. Then measure 13, you're up here. The left hand gets the melody, and that nice? Measure 14, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Measure 15, 1 and 2. So the 16th, 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2. I just go 1 and 2. I know there's 2 16th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then next line is similar. Go down to the bottom of page 9, and at the measure 37 is this chord here going up, but coming down you play a thumb on an E because the right hand's going to catch that A coming down. So and a 2 5 here, and then you can do a 1 4 or 4 1 I should say, and then here. 5 2. You're trying to say the bottom note first and up, and sometimes I get it backwards. So it's 5 2, and then here. I don't like that because if you have fat fingers, this doesn't work very well. So I'm going to suggest you do. If you want to do a 5 2 to start with, that's fine. But for the 8th note, I'm recommending a 5 1, and then cross over a 2. You got to hold the bottom note down; it's tied. And then a 5 1 for the end is what I would recommend. Now put the hands together. Now this is a kicker because the rhythms are different. So good luck with this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. See, how do you know which fingers you're holding down? Well, you go back to one head at a time and you work on that if you have to. Take it a phrase at a time if you have to. It's like here, take the whole second line. Make sure you got the right notes held down at the right time. And then go back and put the hands together. There, measure 15. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3. I go a little fast. You can go your speed, but 1 and 2. So forth. Let's go down to the bottom of page 9. This thing. It's just a broken A minor chord, an arpeggiated chord going up and down. I mean, you could play the A in the right hand both times. Whichever. I mean, there's no rule says you have to use this hand or that hand. It's whichever is convenient. And then going on, it's here. And then at the end. So the top and bottom note there at the end is tied. So you work it out really slowly to see if you can get the hands to work together and you're holding the right notes down the right lengths. That's hard. So take your time with this, because it's so important. If you can grasp this, of holding these notes down the right length when you have multiple voices, you're going to be so much further ahead in your piano playing and your control over your fingers, even though it's really challenging now. I know it is. As far as the articulation goes, it's the slur. Let's go down to measure 13. The left hand has a melody. Lift up. Just lift up. Then lift up. you have to lift up, you got to move. Lift up. See? So just lift up. Lift up. It's like taking a breath. Otherwise, it's legato. And the pedal covers most of it up anyway. Dynamic-wise, moderately soft, and that's going to be for wherever the melody is. At the beginning, it's really the right hand here. Keep the left hand soft or very soft. And then measure 5. See, that first 4 measures is like an introduction. They didn't put double bars there, don't have to, but it's still like an introduction. So the piece really starts on measure 5. The first 4 measures just set the mood. And then now you're up to moderately loud. It's like a duet. Actually, it's like a quartet, or 4 people, 4 instruments playing, but I still suggest we want to hear the melody. That's what we want to hear. Everything else, if you can, keep it under it. Measure 13, you're going up to loud, and that's the melody. Hit left hand. The right hand's got to come down. Then measure 17, come down a little bit, but sort of loud. Here, you can play it up about the same. And you're going to crescendo back up to loud, and that's here. So the right hand, up, and then soft. Good luck with that. One thing I do, I didn't mention it before, I'll mention it now. I mean, let's mix things up, why don't we? In the left hand, like on measure 24 and 25 and 26, here coming down, here up, you're here to start on measure 24. Then I usually use the thumb on that top 8th note. So it's here, thumb, I use thumb, just scrunch up a little bit. This changes my hand position. And then on measure 25, I use the thumb for the A, and because I'm going down and I'm changing my hand position as I'm doing it. So again, 24 is you're starting here and then here, and then going down the next one, you're fine right where you are. That way I'm in position for the whole thing. I should have mentioned that when I was talking about left hand, and I overlooked it. Tough. Let's just move on. Oh well, move on. Now measure 25, you're still loud here. Then you're going to diminuendo, it doesn't say how much, go down to maybe moderately soft in that area because you're going to crescendo on measure 28 and you're only going to go up to moderately loud. So you got to be softer than that in order to crescendo, I guess. So loud, measure 25. Soft. Now, watch out on measure 28. Don't get moderately loud until measure 29. So measure 20, you're under, you're in the middle, you're not there yet. And then on measure 29 you are. So let's start on measure 25. You're loud here. Still loud. Now, soft. Now I'll go up. That's your moderately loud. Everything else is soft. So 4th, and then on measure 35, you start getting softer. So you come down to about a moderately soft for measure 36. Now you're soft and go up. You're going to swell up and back down. Get up. very soft. And you have a retard onto there, slow down. We want to hear that. That's what we want to hear. So it's very soft at the end. How much you slow down is up to you. It's a felt thing. What do you feel it should be? You got to get to know it first, and then you start feeling it. Speed-wise, well, swaying isn't a speed. It's the 1/16 is in the area. It's just got to be accurate. I think that's about where I've been playing it. It's about the speed I was feeling it. And underneath the first measure there, it's cone ped. That means with pedal. So they want you to do the pedal, but they're not telling you where. Oh, that'll be fun. We can do all kinds of things with a pedal. It depends on how tricky do you want to get. How hard do you want to make this? Because it's already pretty hard holding notes down. So I'm thinking maybe the best thing to do here is go ahead and do overlapping pedal throughout. Change it at the harmony. For instance, in the middle of the second measure, you go from here to here. Change it there. And then again in the next measure, change it because you changed the harmony. So you're changing the chord. You can hear when the harmony changes. That's different. It's a different harmony. Now here I'll measure 7 and 8. I change it between them. Because it clears out some of that. I mean, in a way, you could say, change it on every measure and change it on the harmony changes. If the harmony changes in the middle of a measure, then change it there too. So at the beginning, I could go ahead and change it at the measure. But again, change it at the harmony here. And then change it, change it, change it, change it, change. There are different ways of pedaling it, and I find that my habits start coming. I've been pedaling things a certain way, and a lot of times I'll lift up on 1/8 note just to clear it out sometimes because it gets too mushy. Like in measure 7, you're here. I might lift up on that because I know I'm going to hold it down, and then I'll push down on the D. So I just lift up for the C. There's different ways of pedaling it, and you just have to listen. What do you like? How hard do you want to make this? Otherwise, I'm suggesting pedal it, maybe change it every measure, that works fine, and change it when the harmony changes also. And when you get to measure 13, I don't like this. If that's going to be the case, I wouldn't pedal until I play the C. You need to pedal right after the C because you want to connect these. Again, I wouldn't pedal this. So lift up on that. That's my impression of the pedal. You have to adjust it by what you can hear. Now at the bottom, page 9. Here you can pedal the arpeggio. Here, change, and then here, change. And I don't pedal the 16th note, but you can. But it's up to you. But I wouldn't smear that. I like to play this with you very, very slowly to check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the pedaling because you can hear it better if I don't pedal it. You can do the pedaling on however you see fit. So I'm going to give us 4 counts. Let's do it together. 1, 2, ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 4 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 2 3 4 1 and 2 and 2 2 3 4 off.